In this video, I'm going to show how we take a young dog who pretty much knows the rules, but he's been allowed to go at the bang. We're going to change his strategy here and show him that we'd like him to wait to leave until I go to him or tell him hunt dead. And this is how we do it. It's a three-step process, and I'm having the owner shooter go through this so he understands it. Our goal here is to help the dog understand that we want him to be steady on the flush. Now, I tell him to flush the bird, but I don't want him to chase it. He's allowed to flush it with us if he likes, to get the bird in the air, present it to the guns. But there's no chasing, so I want him to flush it and stop. Don't go when the bang happens. Don't go on the fall. I want him to wait until I go to him and release him, or until I say hunt dead, releasing him once he understands to be steady.
Go ahead and kick around a little bit. That hawk flew over. This bird's going to hold pretty tight.
The first step here, I want the shooter to be watching the dog and just go to the dog when the bird flushes.
Very nice.
You saw the first step there, where the shooter simply walks up to the dog after the flush, gets his hands on him to make sure that he's steady. This is the second step. Again, the shooter walks up watching the dog, pops the gun in the air, doesn't shoot the bird, pops the gun in the air, and goes to the dog. We're building steadiness into this, one step at a time.
Hang on a second. Reagan, come on up and you'll shoot this one.
In this scenario, I have a second shooter come out to shoot the bird. The owner is going to pop the gun in the air and not shoot it, but this way we can shoot a bird for the dog and reward it for this scenario.
I'm still firing, right?
Everything's the same for you. Don't flush it, Reagan. Handler, do your thing.
You'll see coming up here, the shooter is watching the dog, as he should. He gives the dog, all right, which means the dog can help flush if he wants, and the dog is steady. He says, no, you do it, boss. After the shot, the shooter went out, got the bird, brought it back, and gave it to the dog. Good work.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Something smells good. He's got it. Something smells good up there. He's probably working a runner over there. He likes that spot a lot.
Now here's the dog finding a birdie area and how we manage it. Energy stays controlled. We don't get excited. We wait, and we wait to see what he wants to do, give him all the freedom, as if we're not even there. This is between him and his bird. And if it flushes because he's careless or pushy, he's learned something. At this point, see, we slowly come up. There's my shooter.
Yeah.
Giving him all the time he wants. If the dog moves, we wait. Make sure he's ready for us to come up.
You want Reagan to shoot this one?
You're good. We're gonna just what we did last time. You're gonna keep your eyes on the dog and go bang and get to the dog. And Reagan's gonna back it up and shoot it. Keep your eyes on the dog. After you release it to flush it, it'll stop. Then bang the gun and go to your dog.
Good bird, good bird.
Is it down?
Yeah, on the other side.
Is it down?
Flip.
Is it down?
Yes.
Send the dog.
I'm dead.
Good work. Nice work.
This is the first time in this session that we're going to let the dog go get the bird.
Good mark.
I'm dead, Nick. Attaboy. Attaboy. right, boys.
Nice work.
You gotta do this short hair parade. That's it.
Now you can see in this next setup, it's a little more exciting. I have a covey out. These are just birds loose that I've put out earlier. The shooter goes up, and again, I want him to pop the gun while he's looking at the dog to make sure he's got good timing and the dog doesn't move. I want to be able to go bang, and I want him to go to the dog because he's going to be releasing it by going to it and releasing it. We will then include a cue of hunt dead, which then can release them by verbal. But in the beginning, in the first few birds, I want to make sure that dog learns he has to wait until we walk over to him. So it made the time frame a visual to him, much easier for him to understand because it's variable. You don't leave just because the gun went off. You don't leave because the bird fell. You leave when I get there and release you, and then soon I don't have to go to him anymore. He understands it, and I can just wait and say, hunt dead, and he'll go.
Beautiful. Nice little covey flush. Very nice.
There you go. There you go.
Whenever we have a dog in the field, they don't see what we're doing as training. It's just hunting. That's all we're doing. We're showing him how to increase his odds of success by using us. If he'll be steady and not chase birds, I'll increase his odds because I can kill it. He can't get it in his mouth. He'll just chase and he won't get it. But if he's steady and works with me and accepts me in his strategy, that I have the big teeth, I can kill it, and we work together. And that's why they do this, because they're building a relationship of trust and cooperation. It's not about obedience.
See his eyes glancing? It's a runner. And he's facing across the wind, so he's probably working some ground scent on a runner.
This is a good example of how we approach a dog when he's working a bird. He's up there and he's stalking, which is managing his bird. There's some pointing involved as he wants to get as close as he can before the pounce, the nature of what they do. So we're never in a hurry. You can see here, we're just working our way up nice and easy, like a walk in the park. We don't say anything. We keep the energy balanced and low. We don't want to get anything excited. We have to be like him. We have to begin our stalk. Now you saw Reagan go around. He's a shooter on one side. I've got the owner shooter coming up. Real easy. We're watching the dog. If the dog moves, we'll stop. I want to make sure he's got his job done. Reagan's going the other way. Everybody's watching the dog. You can see the owner waiting for the other shooter to get in place. No hurry. We take our time. Now the owner shooter walks up, and he's going to say, all right, and the dog has permission to help if he wants, right there. But you see what he did? He set up against it. Now you do it, boss. And that's fine. Now you can see after the shot, I send the shooter out to get it. I want the dog to realize that we're not going to go. You weren't released, so you don't go. The shooter goes out, brings it back, and gives it to the dog. Help to build this scenario where there's some cooperation going on. I see the dog even sat. He's waiting for his bird to come back. Shortly after, there's just a couple of more birds. He'll be steady through all of this, and we'll be sending him.
Nice work. Very nice.
There's one right around.
See, you knew your stuff.
He's not shooting.
You're just going to pop it in the air and go to your dog. Right?
Yep.
All right. And the dog's going to be stopped. Growl if you need. The dog has to be stopped when you go in.
Here's another scenario, how we approach a dog that's on point. See, the shooter goes out. He's very carefully watching the dog. Number one, watch the dog. Don't worry about the bird. You got to get a dog steady, and all the great bird work comes, but you got to pay attention to the dog as he's learning these things. Nice and easy, nice and slow. He's watching the dog. If the dog were to move forward because the bird was running, the shooter would simply stop and wait till the dog got done. There's the all right. There's permission to flush it if you want. Dog chose to be steady.
Very nice. Very nice. Now this is challenging for her because we're hunting with the wind at our back. We need to get down here where this bird went. She's doing the right thing. Nice long cast out. And then she'll work her way and quarter back in. Good work. This is trying to find a bird and hunting at a downwind. And that's what they end up doing, is doing a long run out, cast out, and then quarter back. That's the most effective way for a dog to work when the wind's at our back.
Here we are again now, approaching a dog that's on point. We take our time. If that bird runs and that dog needs to move to manage that bird to get it to stick, then we need to give the dog that freedom. So we're just nice and easy, walk in the park nice and calm as we come up. This is the final phase of this. What we're having the shooter do now is keep his eyes on the dog, but the shooter is going to turn, shoot the bird, and get his eyes back to the dog. Important to see here, the dog moves a little bit after, but he had no intent to chase. He wanted to see where it fell in case we sent him to go get it. Shooter goes right back to the dog, gets his hands on him. Good.
Everybody stand still. Did he hit it? Beautiful. Anybody got a bird? Throw it to that dog. Nice work. We're going to bring the dog, if we didn't hit that one, we're going to bring the dog's bird back. Beautiful, beautiful work. That's what we're looking for. Nice work.
This was a real neat little scenario that we had this day. The dog was working a bird and it started to run. It became a visual runner. Now we have to be careful on this because we could flush the bird if we move too fast, or the dog could flush it if he gets careless. This dog did a beautiful job on this, understanding that he needed the shooter to get in there and be with him. You'll see here, whenever the dog is moving, I have the shooter stop because I want, if it flushes, I want it to be on the dog so he learns something. You'll see on this, the dog doesn't push it. That bird goes, the dog is standing still, the shooter even stopped, and it went, and the dog was steady on that flush. Shooter goes bang, I say hunt dead, and let the dog go. Good work.
It's a runner. Let's watch what happens here. Nice work. Very nice. Very nice work on a runner. Visual runner right in your face. Hunted! Hunted! Hunted!
Now in working this bird, I have the shooter working at watching very closely. If you look at the dog's right front foot, he's got it up, he's pointing, his foot is up. As the shooter approaches, he puts the foot down, which tells me he might need to manage a little more. There's no creeping, he's got no intent to flesh it or catch it, but he may have to get it to stick. It may start it moving, and he needs to get it to stop. So as soon as that dog puts that, you're watching the dog, as soon as he puts that front foot down, I tell the shooter to stop and back out. Let the dog get finished. When he looks good and solid, then we'll go up. It's a matter of showing the dog respect too. I don't want to push it, and I don't want to mess this up. So when you're ready, I'll come in, is what I want him to know.
Let's back up. This is the runner. Let him decide what he wants to do. Let me have you leave. Come back here, leave. Turn around and leave. Just come back. Just leave him completely. There's a runner out there. He's got to reconnect. Okay, he doesn't want to take a chance. So you go out around it so you're on the other side of it, if you can find it.
I have an idea where it is.
Okay, you go on the other side of it.
This is the definition of cooperation. There's no obedience here. This dog wants to cooperate and wants us to help him with his bird.
It's running again. We're gonna let him see if he wants to work it. He's watching it run. There it goes. Very nice. You can go ahead, help him work it. He's free to come in and help if he wants. Oh, beautiful. He's watching the runner go right by him. Very nice.
He just gave the dog the all right. That means flesh it if you want.
Go up there and help him. Go help him. Go in. He's doing good work. It's still running.
Beautiful.